Good morning. I want to thank the SAGES Research Committee for allowing me to present our work. And excuse me, the air is kind of dry here, so if I'm a little hoarse. I imagine pretty much everyone here in the audience has some dedication to medical education in one shape or form, and with it, the social and ethical responsibilities to participate in evidence-based practices, as well as reporting quality research. I'm also sure that many of you have encountered a few of the challenges inherent in conducting research in this field. As the interest in medical education has grown, so has the need to periodically evaluate. Sorry. What am I doing wrong? Just green button. Big green button. Okay. Sorry, 7-second disclosure slide. Nothing. Thank you. All right, so every couple years we proceed to evaluate the quality of research that is published in various different journals. And surgical endoscopy has this domestic and international presence and diverse readership that makes it an excellent venue for the dissemination of medical education research. And in this present study, we evaluate the quantitative studies that were published within surgical endoscopy over the last 10 years and identifying areas of deficits that we can all as a whole help to improve. So in March of 2020, we conducted a PubMed search of surgical endoscopy, where between the years of 2010 and 2019, we identified 5,300 references for which 2 researchers screened for approximately 260 articles that met our inclusion criteria. Those articles were then distributed to 6 reviewers, and 1 reviewer read all 260 of them. We performed an inter-rater reliability study, specifically an intra-class correlation, where we found that we actually had excellent corroboration of 0.93. The data abstraction tool that we used consisted of the Medical Education Research Quality Instrument, also known as MHPE, which is a tool that was developed by Reed et al. In 2009 that looked at elements associated with evidence-based reporting of standards, funding, publication in higher-tiered journals. And we also cataloged the year of publication, what country of origin, and also funding. And during this time period, we found that on average, there were approximately 26 articles that were quantitative that were published within the journal with no statistical difference with each year. And the majority, 60%, were international to the United States with representation from, move forward. Well, representation from 5 continents. And just under half of the articles were funded by industry or government sponsors. There was no significant association between funding and MHPE scores. The average scores for these studies that were found during this period was 12.5 with a range of 6 to 17. Reed et al. Found that a score of 12 was associated with moderate to good quality. Now, for the next few slides, we'll delve into 4 domains that have been traditionally identified as areas of particular weakness in medical education research and are reflected as such in this study. So generalizability of the studies continue to be limited by the over-representation of single institution studies and reliance on cross-sectional study designs such as surveys or retrospective studies. Random controlled trials can be notoriously difficult to conduct as is probably reflected in the results that we've seen. However, I will say that the presence of a RCT did not necessarily predict greater overall quality as there were no difference from non-random and pre-post studies that were seen within our analysis. Now for the next part, and one of our audience members had brought this up, there are 2 domains that have undergone a particular evolution over the years, and that's the presentation of validity evidence and study outcomes. So the modern understanding of validity evidence is one of building blocks, where the purpose is to provide various forms of evidence to support the interpretation of your results. So it is not to support the tool itself, but whether you can actually believe those results, use those results for its intended purposes. MESIX describes 5 levels. The Mirsky tool examines 3, specifically content, internal structure, and relationship to other variables. There were a number of studies that provided no validity evidence or relied on the term face validity, which is an outdated subjective term that we should all not rely on. Oops. This is too technically advanced. So the last domain of outcomes is framed from Kirkpatrick's hierarchy of evolution. The lowest considered is change in knowledge, skills, and attitude, and the highest is considered globally relevant is patient and societal outcomes. Studies that look at change and confidence continue to inundate the literature, and while change in attitude is very important for participant buy-in, it is often insufficient to truly support the implementation of some of the practices that we provide. And so, in conclusion, quality should be seen as a term to represent dedication to evidence-based reporting practices. And as we continue to push the boundaries of medical education research, the standards should be upheld and researchers should be encouraged to maintain accountability with continued vetting of these articles in the peer review process. Thank you.